Good evening, and welcome to the 2021 Prize Day ceremony. My name is Justin Lee, and I have the pleasure of serving as this year's academic steward. To begin the evening, we wish to acknowledge the land we gather on today at Upper Canada College. For thousands of years, it has been traditional land of many peoples, including the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and more recently, the Mississaugas of the Credit River. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous peoples from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to gather and learn on this land. It is now my pleasure to invite Mr. McKinney to welcome us.
Thank you, Justin. To our special guest, Ms. Tayaba Ahmed, Chair of our Science Faculty. To Dr. Jeff Aitken, Head of our Upper School. To Dr. Julia Kinnear, our Academic Dean. To our prize presenters, Ms. Levine, Mr. Smith, Ms. Marshall, and Ms. Ferguson. To parents and guests who join us this evening. To our dedicated and talented faculty and staff. And finally, and most importantly, to our students. Good evening and welcome to our annual distribution of prizes. Thank you all for joining us. Academics sits at the very core of an Upper Canada College education. Indeed, since our foundation in 1829, the delivery of a liberal and extensive course of instruction of the highest quality has been our central purpose. The recognition of achievement is also something that we can trace to the origin of the college. And it is only right and proper that we gather today to celebrate the accomplishments and endeavor of our students. But I must also recognize that we're gathering in a most unique way, virtually. I'm standing in the right place. I'm here in Laidlaw Hall, as we would typically be, but I'm here on my own, as will each of our presenters this evening, following pandemic protocols so we can take off our masks to speak with you. Before we begin the formalities of the ceremony, I'd like to pause to say thank you to all present. Throughout the period of COVID-19, you have all faced significant changed routines, the interruption to regular in-person contact, the loss of activities and events. Students, families, faculty, and staff alike have adapted and adjusted. All have demonstrated tremendous patience, perseverance, and resilience. Throughout it all, there's been meaningful engagement and enthusiasm, and despite the unexpected changes in direction, learning journeys have continued and meaningful progress has been made. And for that, all across our school are deserving of recognition. Thank you. To begin today's proceedings, it is now my pleasure to invite our Academic Dean, Dr. Julia Kinnear, to provide remarks.
Thank you, Mr. McKinney. Welcome everyone to our Prize Day ceremony, and congratulations to all of the students who are receiving recognition today. On October 19, 1934, UCC's Principal William Grant closed his Prize Day address, urging students to preserve through their lives a dedication to learning and what he called the spirit of the quest. Grant saw the essence of learning in that notion of quest, a pursuit, a search for something valuable, requiring courage and determination in the face of uncertainty and challenge. While Grant was speaking to students almost a century ago, his idea still resonates. Like me, you may hear echoes of his voice in the college's value of learning as an ongoing journey of growth and not a destination to an end. What is the spirit of the quest at UCC today? We can find the answer in our guiding principles for learning excellence, developed recently with the input of faculty and students. With a nod to Grant, I thought it would be appropriate to share them as we gather to acknowledge accomplishments in learning over the past year. I'll highlight a few. Learning is collaborative, so we empower diverse people to create, solve, and explore together. We do this because empathy is learned, creativity is fueled by diversity, and global citizenship is founded in our connections to one another. We identify as a community of learners because we believe that learning together is powerful. Over the last year, we have all gained, I think, a newfound appreciation for the college as a community of learners and a deep understanding that learning together is powerful. In that respect, the picture at the top left corner of the slide is particularly evocative. It reflects the sheer joy of being in connection and collaboration with one another in learning. I think we have all felt that joy in the air being back together on campus these past few weeks. Let's consider another highlight. Learning requires persistence, so we embrace challenges. We do this because setbacks and failures allow us to reflect and amend, to develop tenacity and resilience, and to discover that success comes in many forms. We believe that grit allows us to flourish, to overcome adversity, and to become our best self. As Mr. McKinney noted, we have seen persistence and grit in full measure in learning at the college over the last year as we have navigated the disruptions, twists, and turns of the pandemic. Consider the picture in the bottom right-hand corner of the slide. Along with Grant's 1934 speech, I think it's one for the archives. It's an upper school classroom in the fall of 2020 during our period of hybrid learning. The teacher's computer is at the front of the room. A screen on the side is projecting the Google Meet with the at-home learners joining on screen. You can also see those who are present in class in their masks, along with the day's learning material projected on the screen at the front of the room. Today, as we gather to celebrate learning and honor the individual achievements of the past academic year, let's reflect on the ways we have upheld the spirit of the quest at the college during a most difficult period. I'd like you to hold both of those images in your mind. They speak volumes together about the connection and collaboration that sit at the heart of what we do, and our capacity to overcome adversity and develop tenacity and resilience. Further, they provide us the opportunity to practice gratitude today for the gift of returning together in person to strengthen our relationships and our learning. I'll now ask our academic steward, Justin Lee, to introduce our guest speaker.
It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest of honor, Ms. Tayeba Ahmed. Ms. Ahmed was born in London, England, and received her Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Strathclyde in Glasgow. She went on to receive a Master of Science from the same institution. After working with undergraduate students for her master's program, she chose teaching as her chosen vocation. She realized that there was nothing more satisfying than sharing her love for science with young students. This fall begins Ms. Ahmed's 4th year at the college. She says it's an incredible honor to chair the science department and work with such a passionate group of educators and curious students in such a diverse city. Ms. Ahmed, thanks so much for joining us.
Hello everyone. I was in elementary school when I made a scientific discovery. Every Thursday afternoon, my class would walk single file from our classroom to the school library. For several weeks, I had desperately wanted to take out a book called The Cuckoo Clock of Doom as part of the Goosebumps series, just in case you're interested. We arrived at the library that afternoon, and I felt confident that the book would be there. You see, I had actually snuck into the library at recess, found the book, and slid it under one of the bookshelves. However, later that day when I went in, I went over to the hiding spot and it just wasn't there. I got on my hands and knees and I peered under every bookshelf. It wasn't there either. All I was met with was dust and spiders. I then went over to the section that contained the Goosebumps books, and guess what? It wasn't there either. I turned around slowly and I saw one of my classmates checking out the book for the week. I was heartbroken. This would be yet another week that I would not know why that cuckoo clock was so doomed. My only explanation to this day is that Mrs. Wells, the school librarian, had actually done her due diligence, found that book, and returned it to its rightful place. So my class teacher, Mrs. Grover, wouldn't let any of us leave until we all had a book to take home for the week. Realizing that I was holding everyone up, I half-heartedly looked through the shelves and saw one book with a somewhat interesting spine. I tried to pull it out, but so many books had been jammed into that area. So I pulled and I pulled and I pulled, and I managed to get it free, but the book next to it actually fell on the ground, and I had to pick it up. So I picked it up, and I caught a glimpse of the cover. And the cover actually had a picture of a space shuttle on it heading towards Earth. The title of this book? The National Geographic Picture Atlas of Our Universe. Intrigued by the picture, I decided to take it home for the week. That was my scientific discovery, and it opened the door to my lifelong love of science. I devoured the pictures in the book. Even though it was hard for my young brain to comprehend the information on the pages in front of me, I was intrigued. That night, I stayed up late, just staring at a picture of the planet Mars. I had so many questions and I wanted to know more. Why was Mars red? What would happen if the sun stopped shining? And what existed beyond our solar system? As students, you've been encouraged to ask many questions. To fulfill your curiosity, your parents, your teachers, and your peers nudge you to do so because questions can lead you to places that you never knew existed. It also will help you feel your thirst for knowledge. In science, we make observations and ask things to help us that lead us to answers. Sometimes these things might not be the answers that we wanted to hear, and sometimes those answers might come to us by accident. Arguably, one of the most important scientific discoveries of the 21st century came about by accident. It was the discovery of penicillin, which, of course, has gone on to save millions of lives. Sir Alexander Fleming, a person known for being careless in the lab, had a petri dish of staphylococcal bacteria. He left for vacation for 2 weeks and actually left it by an open window. He returned and he noticed that mold had started to grow in that petri dish. What he observed was that this mold that he referred to as mold juice actually had started to kill off bacteria in places that had touched it. This mold juice intrigued him. What he had in front of him was the world's first antibiotic, and it has actually helped us all immensely. Sir Alexander Fleming is widely credited for discovering penicillin. But if we can learn anything from such a humble scientist, it is this. The more complex our world becomes, the more difficult it is to complete something without the cooperation of others. Sir Alexander Fleming found it hard to isolate the thing that was killing the bacteria from the mold juice. It took many people, many years, and believe it or not, many, many bathtubs, and a cross-continental effort to finally isolate that antibiotic agent. As prize winners, your success began as a conversation, as listening to others, and by observing. It started through questions and answers, but mostly, whether you realize it or not, it was a collaborative effort. I urge you never to forget who helped you along your journey and helped you with your successes. The beauty of science is that it is collaborative. However, there is a dark side to Western science that has existed for many hundreds of years. It has not fully acknowledged the contributions of women, black people, indigenous peoples, people of color, people who identify as part of the LGBTQ+ community, and other minority groups pivotal in these scientific successes. Make sure that you stand up to include, acknowledge, and credit the people in your life. Someone who did just that was Pierre Curie. In 1903, he and another French physicist, Henri Becquerel, were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for their work on radioactivity. Pierre Curie actually wrote a letter to the awarding committee rejecting the offer. The reason why is because his wife, Marie Curie, had equally dedicated her life to such important work. And he believed that she should actually be the recipient of this prize as well. In late 1903, Marie Curie became the first female to win the Nobel Prize, any Nobel Prize. She then later won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1911, and then, 100 years later, last year, because this week is actually the week where Nobel Prizes are awarded. But this time last year, 2 women actually won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for their work on genetic scissors. And I think that is amazing. If I can impart some advice to you today, it is to use your platform to speak for others that might not be heard as loudly as you are. Be brave in the face of adversity. Bravery can come in different forms, such as having the courage to see things that others cannot. Many years ago, the Royal Mint, the group that makes coins for the United Kingdom, issued us Brits with a £2 coin. For context, we'd only ever had a £1 coin, so this was a pretty big deal. I believe in 1996, just to put this into context, that Canadians had the honour of being given a toonie as part of their coin collection, so I know that some of you would say that was a pretty big deal. Anyway, I digress. One of the first editions of this £2 coin had an inscription that featured on the side, and it read, "Standing on the shoulders of giants." I thought this was a pretty cool inscription, and the band Oasis, you may know their famous hit Wonderwall, named one of their albums after it. However, later I learned the true origins of this quote. The full quote reads, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." The author of this quote? Sir Isaac Newton. This quote is famed for acknowledging the work of those before us and helping us see further, not through sharpened eyesight, but by being held up and seeing things that others could not see. In closing, I want to leave you with this. Like all great scientists, think about what you can do today for a better and successful tomorrow. Every day is a prize. Every day is the potential for success, whether you know it or not. Every day is a new opportunity to ask questions, to learn something new, to put your minds together and to see further. Now that's exciting. Congratulations to you all, and have a good evening.
I would now like to introduce Ms. Levine, our IB MYP coordinator, and Dr. Aitken, our head of upper school, who will present the awards for the MYP program.
It is my honor to announce the 2020-2021 General Proficiency, Principals List, and Academic Tie Prize winners. Our first set of prizes are at the Year 8 level. General Proficiency is awarded to students who have achieved standards of academic excellence across all of their subjects on their final results in June. The Principals List recognizes students whose performance on the June final report places them in the top 10% of their grade level. Academic ties are awarded to students who stand in the top 5% of their year based on their average results in June. Omid Ali Ahmadi, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Finn Bartel, General Proficiency, Principals List. Matthew Chan, General Proficiency. Michael Chen, General Proficiency. Nicholas Cheng, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Hugh Guan, General Proficiency. Daniel Guan, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Noah Kaufman, General Proficiency. Malcolm Lane, General Proficiency. Lucas Lassinger, General Proficiency. Darwin Lee, General Proficiency. Matthew Lee, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Dennis Liu, General Proficiency. Adrian Mack, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Ethan Moynan, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Christopher Nobrega, General Proficiency, Principals List. Kostas Oriopoulos, General Proficiency, Principals List. Cameron Samek, General Proficiency. Jay Sandhu, General Proficiency, Principals List. Cyrus Sarfati, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Harrison Shiu, General Proficiency, Principals List. Timothy Simon Rasia, General Proficiency, Principals List. Oliver Zhang, General Proficiency, Principals List. Benedict Wang, General Proficiency, and Andrew Young, General Proficiency. Congratulations.
It is my pleasure to announce the subject prizes. First, we have the English prize, which is awarded to Cyrus Sarfati. The Moderns prize in Standard French is awarded to Kostas Ariopoulos. The Moderns prize in Enriched French is awarded to Benedict Wang. The Junior Man Prize in Science, the Lillian K. Memorial Prize in Art, and the R.W. Finlayson Prize in Music is awarded to Adrian Mack. The Frank C. Brennan Prize in Mathematics and the R.W. Finlayson Prize in Music are awarded to Matthew Lee. The Geography Prize goes to Omid Aliamadi. The Design Prize is awarded to Jack Myers. Congratulations.
We will now move on to the Year 9 General Proficiency Principals List and Academic Tie Awards. The winners from the 2020-2021 academic year are Lachlan Abbott, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Naveed Aliamadi, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Derek Kai, General Proficiency. Peter Chen, General Proficiency. Jacob Cho, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Caleb Chong, General Proficiency Principals List. Shaya Faramand, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Roy Feng, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Sam Freiberg, General Proficiency. Cedric Furman, General Proficiency Principals List. Noah Goldowitz, General Proficiency. Bill Han, General Proficiency. Botond Horvath, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Raymond Hu, General Proficiency. Andrew Hua, General Proficiency. Jonathan Huang, General Proficiency. Jerry Jia, General Proficiency. Josiah Lee, General Proficiency. Lucas Levinson, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Gordon Liang, General Proficiency. Simon Liu, General Proficiency. Anderson Lowe, General Proficiency Principals List. Taggart Meredith, General Proficiency. Tyler Moretsky, General Proficiency. Devlin Monis, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Mimo Osdenser, General Proficiency. Noah Pilnitz, General Proficiency Principals List. Sashin Rastogi, General Proficiency. Ryan Wren, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Evan Rosenberg, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Leo Schneeberg, Principals List. Fardnud Tajbakish, General Proficiency Principals List. Kaden Visram, General Proficiency. Oliver Wong, General Proficiency Principals List, Academic Tie. Ray Wu, General Proficiency. Tommy Wu, General Proficiency. And Nathaniel Yu, General Proficiency. Congratulations. Mr. Smith will now announce the subject prizes.
Thank you, and it's now my pleasure to announce the Year 9 subject prizes. The J.W. Beatty Prize in English, the J.H. Bigar Prize in Canadian Studies, the Finnerty Prize in Intermediate Science, and the R.W. Finlayson Prize in Music are won by Shaya Faramond. The Thompson Prize in Introductory Computer Studies goes to Cedric Furman. The Frank C. Brennan Prize in Mathematics and the Harry K. Prize in Art goes to Jacob Cho. The Theatre Arts Prize and the Pai Chu Prize in Rich French are won by Botond Horvath. The Pai Chu Prize in Standard French is won by Caleb Chong. The Moderns Prize in Mandarin goes to Noah Pilnitz. The Moderns Prize in Spanish goes to Caden Visram. The Parkin Prize in Classics Latin goes to Anderson Lowe. The Design Prize in Digital Media goes to Ray Wu. The Design Prize for Product Design is won by Leo Schneeberg. Congratulations. We'll now move on to Year 10.
Year 10 General Proficiency, Academic Ties, and Principal List Awards. David Bard, General Proficiency. Daniel Barr, General Proficiency. Roman Barati, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Academic Tie. Joshua Bugatis, General Proficiency. Luka Bolatovic, General Proficiency. Ryan Chen, General Proficiency. Alexander Chow, General Proficiency, Principals List. Alan Kui, General Proficiency. Alamidi Dinah, General Proficiency, Principals List. Alexander Dubois, General Proficiency. Cameron Dyer, General Proficiency. Matteo Ginelli, General Proficiency. Jaden Godelice, General Proficiency. Jack Guilfoyle, General Proficiency. Kevin Han, General Proficiency. Sam Hewitt, General Proficiency. Matthew Ho, General Proficiency. Alameen Jasani, General Proficiency. Edwin Kim, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. William Lin, General Proficiency, Principals List. Raymond Liu, General Proficiency. Jacob Moore, General Proficiency. Rahul Nanda, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Harry Patel, General Proficiency. Aaron Ratnavel, General Proficiency. Jake Ribbett, General Proficiency, Principals List. Davy Seaman, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Gavin Sellers, General Proficiency. Moyed Shahid, General Proficiency. AJ Schulman, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Alan Sue, General Proficiency, Principals List. Jack Thompson, General Proficiency. Alp Tobar, General Proficiency. Ben Van Megelen, General Proficiency. John Viduris, General Proficiency, Principals List. Marshall Wang, General Proficiency. William Wang, General Proficiency. Alexander Weimar, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Jerry Wu, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Nicholas Wu, General Proficiency, Principals List. Ian Yi, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Will Zhang, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. And Neil Zhu, General Proficiency. Congratulations. I'd now like to introduce Miss Marshall.
It is now my honor to present the Year 10 subject prizes. The William Mowbray Prize in English, the Civics and Global Citizenship Prize, the Design Prize for Product Design, the R.W. Finlayson Prize in Music, and the Peshu Prize in Enrichment are all won by Roman Barati. The Thompson Prize in Computer Studies and the Dr. A.J. Mackenzie Prize in Biology go to A.J. Schulman. The Mathematics Prize and the J.F. Ikes Award in Chemistry are won by Raymond Liu. The Design Prize in Digital Media goes to Ian Yi. The R.S. Coleman Prize in Physics goes to Marshall Wang. The Peshu Prize in Standard French goes to Alp Telebar. The Moderns Prize in Spanish goes to Rahul Nanja. The Moderns Prize in Mandarin Higher Level is won by Alan Chu. The Moderns Prize in Mandarin Standard Level is won by Domi Zhou. The B.K. Sandwell Prize in Classics Latin is won by Zachary Gopinath. The Richard Burston Prize in Art is won by Alexander Chow. The Theatre Arts Prize goes to David Seaman. The new Lang scholars who are currently in Year 11 are Justin Orridge, Aaron Ratnaval, and David Seaman. And the Tom Lawson Prize is awarded for the highest academic standing in Year 10. This year, it goes to Roman Barati. Congratulations. We will now move on to Year 11. I would like to call up Colleen Ferguson, our DP coordinator.
And now, Year 11, General Proficiency, Principals List, and Academic Tie winners. Luca Adamo, General Proficiency. Eric On, General Proficiency. Nima Badari, General Proficiency. Ryan Chan, Principals List. Darian Fadavi, General Proficiency. Ibrahim Fadel, General Proficiency. Jason Gao, General Proficiency, Principals List, and Academic Tie. Nicholas Knopf, General Proficiency, Principals List, and Academic Tie. Dima Kulikov, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Justin Lee, General Proficiency, Principals List. Joshua Lee, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Will Benares Huang, General Proficiency, Principals List. Kevin Liu, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Justin Lowe, General Proficiency. Daniel Liu, General Proficiency. Michael Ma, General Proficiency, Principals List. Caleb Monitz, General Proficiency, Principals List. Dimitri Oriopoulos, General Proficiency. Francesco Rend, General Proficiency, Principals List. Jamie Self, General Proficiency. Andrew Shi, General Proficiency. Tyler Stennett, General Proficiency. Oliver Tattersall, General Proficiency. Jason Tien, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Lucas Timisk, General Proficiency. William Trojniak, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie. Alex Wang, General Proficiency, Principals List. Sam Wilder, General Proficiency. Matthew Huang, General Proficiency, Principals List. Tiger Xie, General Proficiency. Apostolos Zizos, General Proficiency, Principals List, Academic Tie.
It is now my pleasure to announce the Year 11 Special Subject Prizes. The Wills Prize in History, the Global Politics Higher Level Prize, and the Parents Organization Community Spirit Award that was established in memory of Brian Shaw are all awarded to Caleb Moniz. The Global Politics Standard Level Prize is awarded to Francesco Rende. The Craig Baldachin Award goes to William Swanson. The James Scott Prize in Mathematics, Applications and Interpretations Higher Level, and the Ball Family Prize in Higher Level Biology are awarded to Jason Tian. The Mathematics Prize, Analysis and Approaches Standard Level, and the Physics Standard Level Prize are awarded to Dima Kulikov. The Mathematics Prize, Applications and Interpretations, Standard Level, is awarded to Maxi Andraki. The English Literature Higher Level Prize is awarded to Luca Adamo. The English Literature Standard Level Prize and the Moderns Prize for Standard Level French are awarded to Justin Lee. The English Language and Literature Higher Level Prize is awarded to Dimitri Oriopoulos. The English Language and Literature Standard Level Prize is awarded to Tiger Sia. The Art Prize is awarded to Jack Fair. The Arts and Academic Achievement Prize is awarded to Eli Katz. The Theatre Arts Prize is awarded to Eli Preston. The Film Prize and the Moderns Prize for Higher Level French is awarded to Noah Kinloch Varga. The George and Mary Heintzman Prize in Music is awarded to Jaden Liu. The P.G. Chrysler Prize in Higher Level Physics, the Chemistry Standard Level Prize, the Economics Higher Level Prize, and the James Scott Prize in Higher Level Mathematics, Approaches and Applications are all awarded to Kevin Liu. The Chemistry Higher Level Prize and the Biology Standard Level Prize are awarded to Alex Wang. The Geography Higher Level Prize is awarded to Jamin Gledhill. The J.E.R. Barter Prize in Standard Level Geography is awarded to Daniel Liu. The David A. Thompson Prize in Environmental Systems and Societies goes to Samir Somani. The Philosophy Prize and the Moderns Prize in Mandarin B Standard Level is awarded to Jack Zhu. The Moderns Prize in Mandarin A Standard Level is awarded to Michael Ma. The Moderns Prize in Spanish is awarded to Patrick Sente. The Moderns Prize in Ab Initio Spanish is awarded to Servan Sei. The Classics Prize, Latin, is awarded to Preston Senst. The new Lang Scholars currently in Year 12 are Eric On, Nicholas Knopf, Louis Lapham, Will Huang, Preston Senst, Lucas Tumusk, and Graham Tremaine. The Donald Cooper Award, given for outstanding contribution to community service, goes to Apostolos Zezos. And finally, the Visitors Medal recognizes the top student in Year 11. This year, the award goes to Kevin Liu. This concludes the presentation of the prizes this evening. Please allow me to extend a sincere congratulations to each of our prize winners and their families. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.